it's just going crazy everywhere. There's such a ramp up of energy. And yes, this is the month of transformation. So much is happening. If you add up the year number 2020 and the month number 9, you get a 13, and sure enough the number 13 speaks of big change. It's in the tarot, it's the death card. Death means change, transition, leaving the old behind, going into the new. So September really is the big wake up month, when the whole reality we live in will be redefined, when history will be rewritten. And this is pretty obvious if we look at astrology. So it started off with a full moon on the 2nd of the month. That was just yesterday. And today, Saturn in heliocentric astrology changed into Aquarius. That was a huge move. That is preparing the grounds for the December winter solstice, big conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn in the 1st degree of Aquarius. So, as seen from the Sun, today Saturn moved on into that new energy field of Aquarius. It's kind of putting in the first big new leg for this coming age, which will be truly mind-blowing in many ways. Jupiter will join heliocentrically on October the 12th. And then heliocentrically again, as seen from the Sun, they will meet on November the 2nd. I mentioned that already. This is big news. That means at the fortnight of the American elections, really the new energy kicks in, which says everything. It says that, yes, this is going to be a big breakthrough that day following that exact conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, November the 2nd. So before that, there's a whole lineup of powerful astrological alignments. The most important one is Arrokoth. I mentioned Arrokoth many times already. Arrokoth is that very small body which was chosen as a target for the New Horizon space probe. It was in 2014, just a year prior to this space probe, which was traveling already since 2006 on its way out to Pluto to cartograph, get a very clear close-up understanding of Pluto. And then after that mission was complete, they looked for another target and they found that little body. Another 4 years deeper in space for this space probe's travel, which was Arrokoth. So Arrokoth is known as well as your pocket. Really, they did scan it on all sides. They found most intriguing information which caused the whole history of the solar system to be rewritten. They had to dump everything they knew, and that information came out in February this year. The close flyby was on January 1st, 2019. This in itself is powerful because it was at the beginning of that epic year 2019, which really was the breakthrough year, and 2020 is a clear continuation of that momentum which was gained in 2019. So February 2020, the first of 3 exact conjunctions of Jupiter and Arrokoth in, let me just close that here, doesn't work, okay, here we go. February it was, Jupiter and Arrokoth first time conjunct, and there was that big news. It was published in several science magazines, articles all over, that yes, the history of the solar system has to be rewritten after they scan through all the information. So that is kind of the starting point. Then November last year, just a bit more than half a year ago, that body was named Arrokoth, after the native tribe's name for sky, that tribe in Virginia, which is the place where the ground station for that satellite control was located, in Baltimore. So that's why they chose that location, the surroundings, to find a word which came out of that tradition. Arrokoth meaning sky, a man standing under the open sky, seeing the whole picture, everything at once. So Arrokoth, it became pretty immediately clear, had to do with this huge vision, with the integrated vision, understanding everything, and in that sense having to go over the books according to all these new insights and rewrite everything, redefine everything. So why is this so important? Tomorrow, as you see on this chart, Jupiter and Arrokoth will have their second exact conjunction, and then actually they have been already very in close range of one another. Within, I wrote this down here, I just want to tell you this, it's quite amazing. So within 5 degrees orb, Jupiter and Arrokoth were since July the 4th and will be all the way into November the 12th, so for 4 months. Within 1 degree, getting really close and intense with one another since August 13 and into October 8. Within 15 minutes of arc, which is a quarter of a degree between August 26 and September 24. So this is really the core window, and Jupiter will turn direct during that time on September the 12th actually, and 3 days prior Mars turns retrograde. That's another really big one, and that will shift the energy, that will start the release of all that damning information. So we have to really be patient. It is well orchestrated, just trust the plan, as Q keeps reminding us, and that's exactly what this is very clearly timed and planned to have the highest impact, to be able to reach the most people, to build that momentum, because people's memories are short. So it has to be within very close range of that big day, November the 3rd, which is really pretty much deciding the future of our planet. Because, I mean, everybody meanwhile can see that this election is not about Democrats versus Republicans. This is, again, this is much more important. This is good versus evil. As simple as that. So this is what's really happening. People are waking up in droves. This is the chart for tomorrow's alignment, which is the kind of the first exact hit in this time frame. The first one was in February, so this retrograde connection had to wait for a long time and comes then slap on slap pretty much within 2 weeks. This is an incredibly powerful time we are in. Lots of revelations will come out, but as I say, it won't happen immediately. It's well timed. It's released in drips, bigger drips and bigger drips, and it will peak between the 20th and the 30th of September. So before that it won't go too wild, but definitely there's many pieces of the puzzle which will be revealed. For example, right, Assange, Julian Assange, he has his final extradition hearing on the 7th this month. That's just a few days away. And then this will add in yet another interesting twist when his information, his testimony will come out. We can expect that the extradition is happening. So he might be in the United States testifying already, whatever, shortly after that, starting. And who knows what else will be revealed. It has to be something really big, that's for sure. We need that. I mean, if you look around, so many people are still asleep, and I guess we now can really see that with these masks. Everything has become so visible, which is a good thing. This is probably part of that Arrokoth energy, to bring everything out into the open, out into the light. We have to see it firsthand to believe it. So all these sleepwalkers, they have become visible. We can see them and they can see us, so that there's this clear line which is drawn, which is important, because it also is that those who are awake will send energy to those who are still asleep. It's kind of, it happens automatically. You look at them, you think, are they ever waking up? Anyway, it is really a very, very interesting unfolding play, I would call it. It's really a play. I mean, it's probably the best play ever. It would outdo any Shakespearean play. It's so complex, so many layers to it, so many storylines simultaneously, all kind of coming to a point. And so I want to just show you here a few charts. So let's start with this one. This is for Washington, D.C. for tomorrow. Actually, I should quickly scroll back here. I want to start with this one. That was just yesterday. New full moon in Greenwich. Greenwich being the Earth's navel, which connects us with the universe, the 0-degree meridian. So sunrise was just happening when the moon was full. This is rare. This is very beautiful. This really shows that the new day is dawning, that something totally new is coming our way. And it was T-squaring Huya, which is about releasing past life and past trauma and working through it. And it is also the whole process of therapy which comes with it. So globally we are experiencing this, working through all that dark karma we have been inheriting from our past, which we are really just we have inherited it. I guess that's the best way to say, and because it goes so far deeper and into the past. This is several thousand years, probably back to Atlantis even. This is a really big thing which is happening right now. This is the big awakening. So this was the full moon for Greenwich, and it was aligned with Nessus. I wrote about this on my Facebook page. This is pretty epic, this Orcus Nessus opposition, which actually heliocentrically will be exact on the 19th of September. I just looked that up once more. I will definitely write more about that or make a video. I will see. So this is really a powerful chart, and considering that the American nation has their Nessus at 9 degrees Pisces and their Orcus at 9 degrees Virgo. Just show you quickly here the American charts. You have Nessus here at 9 degrees Pisces and Orcus at 9 degrees 09 Virgo. So this is a total reactivation of that energy, and no surprise that it is playing out in the United States. That is where the stage has been set. That is the nation which will lead the way into a free world, into a new age, the golden age. The best is yet to come, as Donald Trump many times has said. It is happening, it's just not fully visible yet. It's still kind of below the horizon for most people to see. So this was earlier this morning when Saturn heliocentrically changed into Aquarius. Now this is the the geocentric chart. Let me just change that over. So this is just the same moment seen from two different angles, and for you to truly see the heliocentric alignment, I'm changing this quickly. Okay, here we go. So 000 Aquarius, that was the moment when Saturn entered new grounds. Saturn in Aquarius, that's Saturn rules both signs, Capricorn and Aquarius, I should say. So Capricorn, it was for the last 2.5+ years its primary sign where it rules. However, in Aquarius, nevertheless, it is very strong too. Before Uranus was discovered, Aquarius is the traditional sign which has been given to Saturn as well. So Saturn in Aquarius is restructuring society. That's what it really is. It is the putting in new foundations, new guidelines, new rules, and it has a lot to do with that new way of looking at reality, that communal and equal and libertarian, freedom loving. And naturally there's also a shadow in the sign of Aquarius. It can be too erratic, too wanting to be different at all costs. So the challenge is to be still seeing the bigger picture and understanding that every piece has its own meaning. And this is leading us into the space age for sure, that whole Aquarian energy which is coming in. What is outstanding in this Greenwich chart again is the midheaven at 1322 Sagittarius. And just zooming back here, this is the American nation's birth chart. You see it's clearly telling us look toward America. That's where really the main action is taking place over the next 2-3 years. That's the time frame we are looking at here. So this now is tomorrow's chart. I don't want to make this video too long, but I sure want to talk about this for a few more minutes, as it's another really powerful chart, and there will be really slap on slap all these next exact alignments through the next 3 weeks are showing the same structures, the same degrees which are coming out. I'm just showing you here a few, and I already showed you many in the past. They always zoom in on this 13th degree of Cancer and the 13th degree of Sagittarius or other 13th degrees. Why? Because that is again goes back to the American chart. These are power points. You see the sun is at 13 degrees in Cancer. In the American nation, as I mentioned, the ascendant 13 Sag. So now let's go back to this. We see 13 Cancer, and we see 12, 13 Sag would be T-squaring the ascendant and descendant here. So again, this is the global chart for that moment, again telling us, yes, these 13 degree marks are particularly charged. If we look at the chart now, this same moment for the American nation's capital, and here we have the galactic center right in midheaven. Beautiful. 2709 is the exact location the galactic center is at. Moves slowly, less than 1 minute of arc a year due to the precession of the equinoxes. So 2709, pretty much dead on at midheaven. This shows that there is definitely a guiding beam coming from the divine, from the higher dimensions. The galactic center is the our sun, the greater sun. It is the hub where our solar system is rotating around once every 250 million years, which holds the whole galaxy together. Whenever the galactic center comes in play, then it is that all those other star nations, their intelligence, their wisdom is kind of funneling in through that source, if you want. It's kind of the central point of that whirlpool which brings in these universal energies. So the South Node has been here already since a few weeks for sure, just has past exactness maybe 2 weeks ago, meaning we are definitely plugged into some greater guidance here. A wonderful guiding system is at work. If we look at the minor planets which are here aligned to that point and that axis in the bigger picture, it's Ischion. I wrote about Ischion and spoke about it a few times earlier. Ischion is the bad boy energy. It is all that trickery and cheating. Ischion, the story goes that he killed his father-in-law just to gain power, so you get the picture. That's what we are dealing with. The South Node also is the kind of the connecting point to our collective past. It's our collective karma in that sense too. What we then are meant to transcend and transform to the South Node, so the Sagittarian Gemini energy, which is on since early May, I guess, has brought lots of higher dimensional information and hidden wisdom into the general mindset, into sharing and speaking and talking about. And what is interesting is that Chaos and Aspolus are here. Now Chaos is original order. Chaos, the original word in Greek, chaos, means the primal order. It's where everything arises out of. That word has been hijacked not too long ago, 2-3 centuries ago, has been given that new meaning, which we usually understand as disorder or whatever. Everything is out of order. Yeah, I guess disorder is not a bad word for that. So chaos has a much deeper meaning. It is going back to zero, going back to the beginning and restructuring everything. Aspolus is the seer of amongst the centaurs. Aspolus has also a twist to the very dark and difficult. It is kind of almost an addiction into difficult issues, because there's a thrill in it. I guess it's not a bad thing that we have that understanding to be thrilled about what's going on. I guess that's the best way one could name that. So this is interesting that this is in the main axis here. Pisces rising, that's again just tomorrow's second Jupiter-Arrokoth conjunction, which will kind of set the stage for a few days. It's only because we're living in such a fast-paced time. There's so many things happening, bang, 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 bang. And so just last, I want to give you a little preview that's done on the 16th of September. That is 4 days after Jupiter has turned direction. You see now it's moving direct. Arrokoth 1725, their third exact conjunction for Washington DC, exactly at the IC, at the fourth house cusp, the source point. This is beautiful. This is definitely very auspicious, very hopeful that yes, the waking up is happening. Whatever the sequence of events that are playing out, it is all in the making. Nothing can go wrong here anymore. Everything is already set. Everything is already happened in many ways. It just has to play out, has to become fully visible, has to come fully into manifestation. Again, this chart kind of shows almost a final outcome. So it could be that already by the 16th of September something really huge has happened, which opened people's minds, which kind of just threw a rock at them and woke them up out of that deep sleep, that illusion, that deceit, which so many people are still totally embezzled with, hypnotized by. So interesting, here's Mercury rising at the same time. And interesting enough, that is the degree which was rising when the first plane hit the first of the World Trade Center towers on September 11th. We are approaching that date, which is a very charged day now. Naturally, we all know that. So who knows what else will really be revealed on that in those next few days, weeks. It might be a whole series of things which are thrown into people's faces, which the mainstream cannot anymore ignore, because they're just above what can be done to correct the flow of information, because it's way too big. So that's kind of where I'm seeing things going. I'm very excited. It's a difficult time. We have to hold the ground. We have to meditate and be kind and loving. That's very important. And just know that this is a natural process we're going through collectively, and we are all in the same boat, and we have to just be forgiving and loving and understand that whatever happens is right, and it will. There's no question. So thanks for joining in and listening. If you liked it, give it a like and maybe share it. And see you soon. Thank you.